Hi, everyone. I'm Michael Sidgmore, a founding investor of Angel City, and I'm here today with Angel City President Julie Ehrman and Angel City founding investor and 776 founder Alex Ohanian to talk about a big announcement. So today, Angel City made a big announcement that they're partnering with Crypto.com, one of the world's fastest growing cryptocurrency investment apps that enables people to buy, sell, and pay with crypto. Pretty exciting news, wouldn't you say, Julie?
It is. We couldn't be more thrilled to welcome Crypto.com to the Angel City family. Today, they're joining us as a founding partner in the space of cryptocurrencies and NFTs. And it really leans into what we're doing here with Angel City, which is finding unique ways to connect directly with our community, but also strive for equity and making sure that women aren't being left behind, especially as cryptocurrency and Web3 is growing so quickly. We came together because of this shared mission to strive for financial equity and independence. And not only are we going to educate and teach our community and our fans about cryptocurrencies and exchange, but also through their NFT platform, we are enabling our players to become creators and to use NFTs to develop a community on their own directly with our fans. So it's super exciting for what we can do for our community. It's super exciting for what we can do for our players. More importantly, Crypto.com is a friend to Los Angeles, just earning the naming rights to Crypto.com Arena. And most importantly, they care about the environment as much as we do. They have a commitment to going carbon neutral in the next 18 months. And we're fortunate and excited to work with them on that journey as well.
This is really the culmination of sports times investing, times community, times culture. Really exciting. Alexis, you've spent a ton of time in the crypto world. You've been a thought leader in this space back to the early days of crypto. What is crypto, number one, for people who aren't as familiar with it? What are NFTs, something that you've been very public about, and why are they such a powerful tool for building community?
At the end of the day, this is upending. It's going to upend just about every traditional institution, but at the heart of it is financial. And what it means at the end of the day for community, the entire theme of crypto, Web3, that folks should think about is if the last wave of the internet, Web 2, social media, stuff like Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, etc., gave people the opportunity to read and write on the internet, that is consume content and post content, become creators as well as consumers. Web 3 is adding a third component, which is ownership. And that's meaningful. It is something I think we all, as human beings, we all want this sense of ownership and belonging. And communities were built over the last few decades online that connected people who were fans of the beautiful game all over the world to watch their favorite players, their favorite teams. And now Web3 is enabling a different kind of relationship. I'm so proud of the fact that Julie and her team paved the way with one of the first, if not still the only, really unique drops for an NFT when we did our crest reveal, and really giving our fans a stake and literally a piece of the emblem that represents this great club. And it should be the first of many. And I think sport has always been an amazing community builder, and this is going to take it to another level.
On that point, Julie, you said you wanted to do things different from the start. You kind of really started with a blank canvas, the way you built the ownership group, the way you built the team, the way you did, as Alexis said, the club crest as an NFT, engaging fans, making them owners of this NFT and part of the club. What kind of was part of the whole playbook here with really trying to do things different in terms of helping players? You mentioned how crypto can help players. You mentioned how crypto can engage fans. So walk us through some of that playbook.
Yeah, I mean, we believe that fandom has really changed, and fans are connected with players first. And once they connect with the players, then they connect with the team, and then they connect with the league. And so we want to empower our players so that our fans know who they are and follow them and connect with them. And that can be simple storytelling that we do through, visual medium, but it can also be through NFTs. And what an NFT really allows you to do, as Alexis said, is not only become a creator, but create your community and have ownership over that relationship. And that's something that we feel that these players are incredibly well positioned to do because they are public figures, in some cases cultural icons, and they have this incredible connection with their fans. And this is just a way to deepen that connection.
And how does this partnership kind of enable that to happen. What about crypto.com really appealed to you in that process?
So we have a shared belief in creating financial independence for all. And as we think about our community, we want to be able to educate them, inform them, and give them the tools necessary to participate in Web3, to participate in NFTs. So with crypto.com, we can work with them to educate our community and then teach them how to get involved to become a part of that. A big part of this partnership is becoming our NFT platform and becoming the partner with which our players can interact with to not only create NFTs, but also distribute them.
And Alexis, on that point, you've long been a champion of creators and community. How does a partnership like this really leverage the power of NFTs to enable them to become creators, connect directly with their fans as you think about the development of players' careers both on and off the field?
Yeah, I think what's special here is we've already seen women athletes outperform their male counterparts on social media. And that shouldn't surprise anyone, right? Women have always been the larger creators and consumers of social content. They are actually the driving force behind all of Web 2. And so it shouldn't surprise anyone that women athletes outperform their male counterparts. And sadly, it also shouldn't surprise you that historically the market has not rewarded that as it should. You can look at all the endorsement dollars, all of their stuff. This is one step toward helping support our great athletes in building this relationship with their fans and doing so in pretty cutting edge and innovative ways. And at the end of the day, what made Angel City so compelling to me was that you had from day one an organization that Julie, Kara, Nat all wanted to set a standard, not just for women's sports, for all sports. And this is just one more example of the team's foresight in all of this.
So you talk about how it helps the players. You talk about how that connects to the fans. What is the benefit of this, and what's the so what of this crypto.com partnership for fans? I mean, right, the crypto.com has an NFT platform in addition to be able to buy and sell crypto. They're going carbon neutral. These are all things that I think you thought about as you were thinking about this partnership, Julie. So, why is this great for the fans, and what do you want to say to them?
I mean, the fans get to connect directly with the club and with the players, right? So they don't have to go through an intermediary, and they also know that the time that they spend and the money they spend are actually going to the creator. In this case, it is going to be the player. So when they interact with the player, they know that they're truly interacting with the player, and the players are truly benefiting from this. And this is one way that we hope to strive to equity for all players, but also create just a more fair and equitable future.
Sounds like ownership is really the big theme here. You both have touched on it. What kind of, gets you so excited about the idea of crypto and how that enables ownership in a way that we haven't had that before? Alexis, I'll start with you on that.
I mean, this comes back to, if you were early and right in large cultural movements of the past, you got some bragging rights, but you didn't really have anything. Maybe you had some old ticket stubs. Maybe you had some OG jerseys. There have been different collectibles in sort of different ways. But one of the things that's so clear to me now is we have a path to really reward our sort of biggest supporters, our day ones. And this enables a path for our players in particular to build this direct relationship. And if you look at where the future of sport is headed, we will see more and more athletes getting more and more leverage and sort of more and more empowered. And that's something that is just so important. It's built into very much the ethos of the organization because, look, that's very different from how it has been historically, and in particular for women who have been particularly disenfranchised in sports. And I think this sets a tone for something that a lot of other folks will need to be copying or at least looking to, because this is the way. You're going to continue to see this trend, and that's something that we want to help all the women on our team with.
Well, Alexis, I think you mentioned something that's really interesting, which is that culture is playing such an important role in shaping investment trends. Crypto is related to investment in many people's mind at first blush. But then you have crypto now connecting with culture, and now culture is becoming part of investing. And Julie, you've been in the gaming world. You've seen the evolution of sports and what can be done to engage fans in ways where they become owners. Talk a little bit about that, because you've seen kind of the evolution of some of those industries, gaming industry, sports industry, and how both now investing and culture can play a role in that.
Yeah, I mean, in this case, culture was sort of the advent and the birth of NFTs. And, we were the first women's professional team to do an NFT. We fractionalized our crest with the idea that we wanted all of our day ones, all of our fans, to own a piece of Angel City, the first, most important visible representation of our club, which is our crest. And they can choose to own it, but they can also choose to sell it. It gives them flexibility. And as the value of the club grows, that ownership of that piece, they can then benefit from or hold and keep forever. And so, people think about NFTs in the most simple way as a collectible, but it's a collectible that has value that is now tradable. And it's also a way to express yourself. And I think we're seeing this all over socials. People are changing their icons to their NFTs, that it's an expression of them. And that ties directly into what you're saying, which is culture is really leading the way now.
Okay, so culture is leading the way. We've just started with that. I want to get both your thoughts on that. This is just the beginning, right? Where do we go with all of this? So Alexis, there's obviously a ton of innovation in sports. You've done this really across the entire sports stack, from teams to players to fans and community. If you could dream up what a world looks like with crypto merging with the world of sports, what does that look like to you?
Wow. This could go lots of ways. Most projects in Web3 have to build this minimum viable community. All of them do, candidly, in order to be successful. And normally it is a bit of a feat to get a bunch of disparate people all over the internet to come together over some shared identity. And as humans, one of the strongest ways to kind of hack that shared identity has always been sport, right? That's why, if you think about it, there's a handful of things you could sort of construct, right? These are very modern innovations that have been constructed really in the last 100 or so years, where, if I walk down the street and I see you in your Angel City hoodie, I'll give you a knowing nod and be like, yeah, what's up? Like, we know we are in a community just simply by something we're choosing to wear. And this obviously exists quite intensely online. And I think the way that this continues to spin up is you're taking something that already lives in us, this passion for sport, the community that it creates, and now giving some infrastructure, some technology that actually makes it much easier to represent and then also sort of benefit from being early and sort of right in these movements. And I actually think upstart clubs like ours, I'm biased, but have a huge advantage, because this is the first time, I think, in maybe history where incumbents are actually at a disadvantage, because you have to retcon fandom. So, Manchester United is one of the most valuable clubs in the world. Great club, clearly well-deserved, storied history, lots of value. But to try to retcon community, you can't go back and just be like, all right, everyone, we're in this together, because you're already Manchester United. Everyone knows, like, no, this is not some scrappy upstart. This is already the leading sports empire, one of the leading sports empires in the world. And then you also can't really go back in time and say, okay, if you were a day one fan, maybe you couldn't afford to go to a single game, but you tried to listen to every one of them you could on the radio and then watch and blah, blah, blah. There's no way to reverse engineer all of that fandom for all that time. And so you're at this weird kind of disadvantage. Because if you're an upstart like Angel City FC, we know who our day ones are, because our day one was just this year, right? And that is actually a really formidable threat, because the growth with which we can motivate and incentivize folks is a much steeper delta, right? When you're already on top of the world, even if you're growing tremendously, you're not going to grow. You're not going to double, triple in a year. But we can 10x in a year. We can 20x in a year. And that starts to move this cycle way faster and get really, really really exciting very quickly. So I think it is an amazing time to be an upstart, and I think we're going to see that community flywheel keep spinning.
Yeah, I mean, Julie, you really pioneered a deal in the crypto world for NWSL with this partnership. So, why is this such a big deal? Where can you take this partnership with all the things that crypto.com can do, with all the things that you can do with your players and fans?
Yeah, I mean, I think what's special about this partnership with crypto.com is that fundamentally we came together because we had common beliefs. We wanted to create financial independence. We wanted to empower communities to understand their financial choices and to participate in this new wave of cryptocurrencies. We believe in giving back to the community. Crypto.com believes in giving back to community. We were inspired by their partnership with Matt Damon and Water.org and felt like together, we could help women not be left behind this time as we educate them and give them the tools not only to understand cryptocurrencies and Web3, but also how they can then use these technologies to become creators, to create communities, and to benefit directly from what it is that they create, and be able to provide something incredibly special to our players and then to our fans who interact with them and now can interact with them in a whole new way. And so it's not just about, a splashy partnership. It's not just about, a cool logo on an LED screen. It's about fundamentally we came together because we had this shared purpose of striving to financial independence and equity. And we're going to be able to do that in a really fun and creative and unique way while we educate people on what this new thing is, Web3, and how you can benefit and create NFTs as a way to create connection and community and ownership.
Ownership. It all comes down to ownership. You've done that with the team. You've done that with the fans. You're doing it with the players. This is awesome. Really excited to be able to announce and talk about this really exciting, innovative partnership with Crypto.com in Angel City.